All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we have a second example, and I told you guys I was going to come out with 2 videos today. We have a second example of a video game that is old, okay? In this case, 13 years old, that all of a sudden decided to get a patch that was going to make gender ambiguous in the game. Yes, for whatever reason, Terraria has apparently updated the game with a patch that now removes gender from character selection and only lets you pick now A and B.
That means you're gay.
Now, you guys know how I feel overall about this nonsense regarding A and B, right? This is just a way for developers to get really easy ESG scores. Their points go up by doing stuff like this. They can potentially get some more funding. Even if it's small, they can get funding from doing stuff like this. Small little changes that, necessarily aren't super divisive, right? It's not like they're fucking making, I don't know, trans characters or whatever the case may be. Like, it's not anything that's usually super divisive, but it's small and it's stupid, right? They know it's stupid. They know they're only doing it to virtue signal. They know that they're only doing it to pander, because that's the only reason you would update a game that's 13 years old that survived perfectly without this nonsense, right? This is not going to bring any new players. This is not going to attract any different kind of players. Nobody who was playing Terraria before is going to care about this particular update. So let's get into this article from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So then the question becomes, what was the point, right? Why did you do this? What is the reason for Terraria 13 years later getting an update that removes male and female that was in the game for 13 fucking years, right? You mean to tell me the people who are playing Terraria, which by the way is a lot of people, it's over 30,000 concurrent players, which is a strong base, okay? There's no doubt about it. I'm never going to take that away from the game. The game is successful in my eyes, but you decide to want to change this. Why, right? Who was actually asking for this? I don't think I've ever seen anybody playing Terraria asking for body type A and B. I never seen anybody trying to pretend to be a non-binary character or whatever. I just don't see the point. There is no reason for this other than, hey, it's modern day. We need to virtue signal. We need to up our ESG scores. So it says a new report claims that Terraria publisher and developer Relogic has removed gender selection from the game 13 years after the game was released. The game was released on Steam in 2011. This also brings up an interesting topic, right? Where developers are able, or studios are able, to essentially change the entire premise of certain parts of the game without actually refunding you in any manner. So if you bought this game as is, right? You bought this game that had male and female. Maybe you thought it wasn't woke, because chances are back in that day, it wasn't woke, right? This is why they're changing it now to be woke. But you bought this game under one pretense, and then all of a sudden they decide as developers, hey, we're going to force a certain ideology down your throat, whether you like it or not. And you bought our game 13 years ago, so you can't get a refund. I feel like it's really fucked up, right? Well, because what they're doing is they're selling you a certain game, and they're selling it to you in a way that they know is going to attract a lot of real gamers. And then all of a sudden, a few years later, when they feel like the dust is settled and they can get away with not refunding you, they suddenly make these fucking divisive changes, and they force it on you and say, well, you already have the game for this long, so you might as well just deal with it. No, that's not how this works. It's fucking dumb. Everybody knows it's dumb. This is only to pander to the modern audience who's not even playing your game to begin with. It says, for those unfamiliar with Terraria, it's a popular pixel adventure game that allows players to dig, fight, explore, and build. I never got into Terraria. I was into, like, builder games, right? I had my little Minecraft phase ages ago, but I just never was into Terraria. I never liked the side-scrolling profile of it. I feel like if you're going to play a game like that, it should be, like, 3D and whatnot, but that's besides the point. That's just me. The Steam curator list and woke-centered game alert shared side-by-side screenshots to Imgur of the character creation options in the game's 1.44 version, and now its new 1.45 version. In the 1.44 version, one can clearly see the option to choose between male and female character with gender symbols. However, that has since been replaced in 1.45 with what appears to be various different body options. Yes, various different body options to get to the same exact point that you were in the first place. So you're going to say body type A, but body type A, every single body type that's available for you to choose from is a boy. right? It's a man. That's every single option. Just like with body type B, every single option for body type B is a female. Literally every single one. So again, you can change it from male to female, you know, to A and B and whatnot. It doesn't fucking matter. This is how you know it's lazy activism, because you did absolutely nothing other than change the words to try to make retards on Twitter feel more seen, right? These same people who are never going to play your game. I guess you're supposing probably they're going to try to quote tweet you or tweet about your game and say, hey, look, I don't play this game, but look what stunning and brave thing they did. Go buy Terraria. It's the weirdest thing. You got over 30,000 people supporting this game every single day, and yet this was the patch that you decided to do. Very interesting. It's more than likely this change was made to cater to transgender movement that rejects the differences between males and females and believes one can change one from the other through chemical and physical means. Again, this is a rejection of reality. It is. It's 100% a rejection of reality. And this is why none of this will ever make sense. What is the purpose of this? Why'd you do it? If it didn't matter, why did you do it? This is the gaslight that they try to tell you. Oh, it doesn't matter. The only reason why you're saying it doesn't matter is because it's something that you agree with. Right? That's the only reason why you're saying it doesn't matter, because if it was something you didn't agree with, guess what? You would be doing what you do every single day on Twitter when you're not shilling for something, which is melting down over what someone else said that you deem right-wing, even if they might not even be right-wing. So long as they disagree with you, that automatically puts them in the camp of right-wingers, alt-right, Nazis, whatever the case may be. So again, it's a gaslight that they try to give you because they know what they're doing is important, and they're trying to tell you that it's not important while they get away with it, something that's important for them. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So again, man, Terraria is one of those games that is old, right? It's got a strong fan base. This is not going to kill the game or anything. Obviously, we know that. And unfortunately, people don't get far enough in videos of mine to hear when I say those things. So then they end up going in my comments like, this is not going to kill the game. Why are you lying? I never said it was going to. FYI, I think this game is going to be perfectly fine. But I do think this is going to start to slowly but surely include a divide in the fan base. And it might not be anything crazy, but little by little, you're going to start getting a bit of a divide until eventually what ends up happening is people start checking out little by little. And you might think you're too big to fail now, but chances are we've seen so many corporations, studios, and everything under the sun. They failed because they thought they were too big to fail. They had all the money in the world. They had all the clout in the world, and they thought they could do literally anything with that and get away with it. And they found out real quick that they couldn't. Look at what happened to Paramount Studios recently. They got offered $11 billion for a buyout not just a few months ago. They turned it down, and now they're shutting down the studio. $11 billion they turned down, and now they're losing all that money and potential revenue that they could have had because they were stubborn as fuck. They thought they were too big to fail. They can keep putting out garbage, and now they're closed. It's the same thing. So we're going to see what happens with Terraria. Obviously, I don't think the game's going to fail. I don't even think they're going to lose any players recently, for this change. But I do think it's going to start the discussion and begin to sow a divide that could eventually make a major crack in a studio like this. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.